Welcome back to the Malaysian Money Matters show. It's the 23rd of October 25. Today, we're diving into some key headlines, really focusing on, I think, two big themes.
Yeah.
Market volatility and corporate accountability. We'll break down what's happening and, importantly, what it means for you. Right, let's jump into the company news first. There's some movement, potentially, in the FBM KLCI. IOI Core is facing a risk of exclusion.
That's right. They're struggling with the liquidity requirements. And look, if they are dropped, the clear frontrunner to replace them is Westports Holdings.
Okay, so that's quite significant for Westports, just getting onto the index.
Oh, absolutely. Index inclusion itself can be a major boost. But speaking of volatility, did you see Perak Transit?
Yeah, quite the roller coaster. Declared business as usual after, nearly half its market value vanished in a single day.
Exactly. It triggered a Bursa unusual market activity query, naturally. Now, the company says operations are fine, fundamentals unchanged. But for investors, you've got to ask, what caused that panic? Is it just market jitters, or is there something, deeper going on that we don't see yet? It tells you a lot about sentiment.
True. Okay, shifting gears a bit to corporate liability. Petronas Gas, or Pet Gas, they're facing a pretty hefty claim, RM68 million.
Yes, it's a class action lawsuit connected to that gas pipeline fire back in April in Putra Heights. Pet Gas believes it won't have a material financial impact.
Right, that's what they usually say.
Well, yes. But the key thing here, I think, is the allegation itself. Negligence in pipeline protection and maintenance. If this case succeeds, it could set a precedent.
Meaning a higher cost across the board for infrastructure players.
Potentially, yeah. Higher compliance, more rigorous maintenance schedules. It introduces a different kind of risk.
Got it. And speaking of holding companies accountable, MAHB seems to be doing just that with the KLIA Aerotrain issues.
They are. They're holding Alstom and the IJM-Pestech joint venture responsible for those 3 recent disruptions. Importantly, these all happened within the defect liability period.
So MAHB isn't footing the bill, presumably.
Well, they're appointing an independent assessor for a full review. The goal isn't just a quick fix. It's about restoring reliability. KLIA's reputation is on the line here.
Makes sense. Okay, let's look at the energy sector. Verdant Solar had a strong debut on the ACE market. Shares popped 19%.
Yeah, that signals really strong investor appetite for solar companies right now. And Verdant is planning to use that capital for M&A.
Smart move. Diversifying.
Seems like it. Moving beyond just the residential segment, making them less dependent on, say, consumer budgets, it's a strategic play.
And sticking with solar, but over in Sarawak, Zecon.
Right, Zecon secured a big 30-year power deal. They'll build and operate a 100-megawatt solar plant in Kuching for Sesco.
That fits with Sarawak's bigger picture, doesn't it?
Perfectly. It's a clear part of their push for more large-scale solar power. Definitely something to keep an eye on, that regional energy shift.
Okay. Now let's check in on the consumer side. Heineken Malaysia reported low single-digit growth in Q3 beer volume, outperforming the market, actually.
Even with that 10% alcohol excise duty hike coming on November 1st, it shows some resilience there.
So prices are going up.
Expected to, yeah. Probably between 3% and 15% to cover the duty. But, analysts point out that historically these hikes haven't really dented brewers' earnings long-term. Interesting, right?
It is. And we're seeing strength in REITs, too. IGB and Capital Land both reported higher net property income.
Correct. Both IGB REIT, IGB Commercial REIT, and also Capital Land Malaysian Trust saw NPI rise in Q3. It's mostly down to good rental growth and some new acquisitions strengthening their portfolios.
So despite higher operating costs like electricity.
Exactly. It suggests that, for now at least, solid consumer spending and retail activity are kind of outweighing those cost pressures.
Yeah.
Shows resilience in their holdings.
Let's pivot now to some national policy and governance issues. The Sabah revenue claim is back in the spotlight.
Yes, PM Anwar confirmed the federal government will study Sabah's court-ordered claim for that 40% share revenue. He stressed respecting the legal process.
But it's tricky, isn't it? The court set a 90-day deadline for the review process to start.
It did. But the PM also highlighted that the federal allocations to Sabah, around RM17 billion for 2025-26, already exceed the revenue earned from the state.
So it's a balancing act between the legal ruling and the current fiscal transfers. Complicated stuff.
Very. Then there's flood mitigation. The Deputy PM confirmed flood risk is now officially a key factor in technical assessments for all new housing projects.
About time, many would say. Integrating the flood mitigation master plan directly into approvals.
Definitely a positive step. The challenge, though, is tackling the older housing areas. Improving drainage there needs coordinated action from multiple parties, which is always slower.
Yeah, the legacy issues are tough. Okay, what about online fraud? The government's planning to limit prepaid SIM card registrations.
That's the plan. 2 per telco for Malaysians and just 2 total for foreigners. The explicit aim is to fight online scams.
Making it harder to get those untraceable numbers that fraudsters use, especially with things like AI deepfakes becoming more common.
Precisely. It creates a bottleneck for the scammers. We should expect the new rules sometime in Q1 next year.
Okay. And another move towards perhaps better process, B&M transparency on account closures.
Right. The Finance Ministry pointed out Bank Negara now requires banks to give written notice with reasons if they close an account under AMLA, the Anti-Money Laundering Act.
That seems important. Gives people a right to appeal.
Exactly. Tries to balance the bank's need to prevent money laundering with protecting account holders from, potentially arbitrary closures. More transparency.
Good. Let's look at the broader economy now. September inflation ticked up slightly, 1.5%.
Yeah, relatively muted. But the bigger concern buzzing around is the debt servicing ratio. It's projected to hit 17% by 2026.
17%. That really highlights the growing fiscal pressure, doesn't it?
It certainly does. And that's likely why you heard that adjunct professor suggesting maybe reintroducing GST, the goods and services tax.
Yeah.
Phased in, lower rate, perhaps second half of 2026.
Now, that's just a suggestion at this stage, right? Not government policy.
Oh, absolutely not policy yet. But the fact that it's being discussed publicly signals that the government might be considering major tax policy shifts down the line to manage the finances. Something to watch.
Definitely. Okay, internationally, the U.S.-China dynamic remains fascinating. China's exports to the U.S. are holding up.
Quite remarkably, yes. Still around $1 billion a day, despite the tariffs. It really shows Beijing's leverage.
Because of their position in key supply chains, rare earths, electronics.
Right. Exactly. Give them significant bargaining power. So the U.S. tariffs, they're having a limited short-term impact, it seems.
Yeah.
Though we are seeing slow decoupling in some specific sectors, like video game consoles.
Interesting. And finally, the tech race. It's just relentless, isn't it?
Absolutely white hot. You've got OpenAI launching its own web browser, ChatGPT Atlas, directly challenging Google.
Wow.
And then Google announces this quantum echoes algorithm, theoretically thousands of times faster than current supercomputers.
Mind-boggling speeds. But it's not just about pure innovation, is it? Meta's cutting jobs.
Right. Meta's shedding about 600 jobs in its AI unit, specifically to, quote, accelerate decision-making.
So speed through efficiency, perhaps. Trying to keep pace that way.
Seems to be the strategy. It just underlines how incredibly fast-paced and competitive the global AI sector is right now. Being first or fastest seems to be everything.
A lot happening, from market swings to policy shifts and that global tech battle. If you found these updates impactful, make sure you don't miss our future deep dives. We really encourage you to subscribe to the Malaysia Money Matters podcast, wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for tuning in.
Hey there, thanks for tuning in. If you would like a deeper dive into all the investment opportunities from today's news, subscribe to my newsletter at moneymatters.substack.com. I will be sharing a deeper analysis of the key investment opportunities from today's news, including what makes these opportunities stand out and how they fit into the broader market trends. By subscribing to the Malaysia Money Matters newsletter, you will also get exclusive insights on my watch list and portfolio and fundamental reports on Malaysian listed companies.